Sorry about that, yo.
Efficiency is the bedrock
Yeah,
of industry.
sounds pretty crazy.
Assembly lines advancing, formulas flowing, output humming. So shop floors stay in sync. Yields grow, outputs improve. But the work is never done. Today, prevailing winds are driving profound change. Shifting geopolitical environments, stretching supply chains, evolving consumer expectations. So it feels like headwinds are the only constant, and those with the most experience navigating them are leaving the workforce. It's a perfect storm, a storm that industries have been struggling to navigate. What was reliable now seems rigid. Systems that were fixed are now fluid. We're at an inflection point. It's not enough for production to be efficient. It must also be adaptive. Industry needs agility and flexibility to assess and assert data-driven decisions in real time, to model interventions without adding inconsistency, to automate and adapt throughout the entire system. This ensures you catch the right current to align with market momentum, so production flows, work streams, and margins are met, all possible with Siemens technology like the comprehensive digital twin, software-defined operations, edge computing, and industrial AI, ensuring data intelligence spans the entire value chain, which helps companies of every scale, across every industry, become digital enterprises and grow more dynamic because of, not in spite of, the headwinds. To enable adaptive, fast, and sustainable operations that work, Siemens Accelerator is the catalyst for transformation, helping U.S. manufacturers rewrite the rules of resilience, empowering you to meet the winds of change with technology that adapts quickly, data that flows between the real and digital worlds, responds to rapidly shifting demands, and optimizes on its own, so you can transform headwinds into a head start.
All right, how's everyone doing today? How about those winds of change? My name is Brandon Riley. Thank you for joining us here on our eXplore tour as we debut it here at CES. I'm here with Shane Lucina. We will be guiding you through our eXplore tour here today. So like that video said, there's a lot of trends the industry's facing right now. One being scarce resources, the other being high operator turnover, and we're seeing increasingly more complex data sets, which leads to a situation where every moment matters. On top of that, because of these trends the industry is facing right now, plant profitability is being impacted at a rate of $250,000 to several million dollars an hour. $250,000 to several million dollars an hour. Because of this, systems need to be connected across multiple disciplines, domains, and platforms from early stage R&D to full-scale production. To make sure this happens, all these systems can be connected utilizing Siemens solutions, and we'll see how when these systems are connected, we're producing large amounts of data. The fact of the matter is, all of this data is being collected, and much of it is going unused in the decision-making process. On top of that, in the last decade, artificial intelligence has stepped in and become the biggest disruptor of the industry, and yet many manufacturers are failing to implement this technology on the shop floor. This is where Siemens steps in and combines the real and the digital worlds like never before. By combining the real and the digital worlds, companies are able to accelerate their time to market and outpace their competitors like never before. Utilizing the Siemens Accelerator portfolio is how companies are able to take advantage of these Siemens solutions so that they can become a true digital enterprise faster than ever before. When companies become a true digital enterprise, we'll see how intelligence flows and decisions become intuitive, adaptive, and optimized. In just a moment here, we'll step into...
in just a moment, we're actually going to step into our virtual pharmaceutical manufacturing facility here. where Brandon just realized or just mentioned that we have a lot of headwinds actually hitting manufacturing today. We're going to see how those headwinds can impact some essential on-time deliveries of maybe life-changing medicines. And when we actually get all processes and people working in sync, we'll be able to see how some of the extraordinary that we didn't think was possible is actually able to become possible. So if y'all will join me right through this door.
All right, so welcome to our virtual pharmaceutical facility. You may want to take a second here and look at our robot.
Yeah, you might want to pan out a little bit and get this robot in view here some. But yeah, so this is our virtual pharmaceutical manufacturing facility. We'll see some familiar pain points that you might see in other industrial settings, such as high operator turnover or just a lack of in-depth knowledge from our operators to begin with. And when this happens, we have to expect machines to go down, and that means that we're acting a little bit reactive when this happens, and that leads to a lot of unplanned effort and unplanned downtime, costing us, as we just mentioned, somewhere between $250,000 to several millions of dollars an hour. So right in front of you, we have this pick and place robot, which essentially is going through and placing pill bottles from one conveyor belt to another. We're limited to space, so it's one pad to the other right now. And right behind you, we have this virtual facility where there's multiple conveyor belts running in the background. So we're able to utilize some of the process data here and some of the virtual information as well behind us to make correct decisions and precise decisions. But I just want to ask you guys real quick, what do you think would happen to this robot? Do you think it's going to work flawlessly for the next, I don't know, maybe even week or two, or do you think it's probably going to go down?
I would hope it would work forever, but that's just not the fact of the matter. It's never going to fully work forever. Oh, would you look at that?
Look at that, yeah. Just as I was saying that, we actually have some errors occurring. We had the robot drop the pill bottle. My interface here is lighting up with 5 errors, multiple different colors, multiple different criticalities. There's a warning, critical alarm. I don't really know what to do right now. It's saying that there's a robot fault. There's a gripper fault. There's a bunch of different things.
You didn't call in sick, did it?
No, no, not at all. There's a bunch of different things that could be going on. In fact, some of the conveyor belts theoretically could have been going at different speeds. Maybe some of the pill bottles were a little bit too heavy, or the gripper simply didn't have enough power going into it. I don't know. Brandon, if you're, let's say you are a maintenance technician who's pretty new here and you're trying to figure out how to solve this, how would you go about that? What's your first reaction?
Well, typically what I would maybe think about doing is reaching out to some of the more experienced operators, the ones that do have that high in-depth operational knowledge. But if they're not on the job and they can't help me out today, then I might spend hours and hours, maybe even days, trying to get this line back online. And like we talked about earlier, plant profitability is being impacted by the second. So we need to get this line back up on time, and it would probably take me a while to actually go through and diagnose what is going on.
Exactly. And even if you're an experienced operator, you still don't really know which fault to start on here, which problem is the main problem occurring. So I actually want to introduce you to where Siemens is able to bridge that gap and help you utilize some tools that we have, Insights Hub. This is where our operators are actually able to utilize AI, very base level language where you can communicate it no matter who you are, whether you're an intern, an engineering intern at a company, a super experienced technician, or even the CEO of a company. I don't see why a CEO would be dealing with maintenance, but if it were to happen, you would be able to do it. So here I'm gonna have Brandon type in this and you can kind of walk us through it a little bit.
Yeah, so I know something happened with the gripper, right? So I know that maybe there's an issue with the gripper fault variable that I know is within the PLC. So I prompted the chat bot by asking, hey, is there anything correlating with the gripper fault variable? It's going to go back and look at some of this historical time series data and compare and contrast what's happened in the past and tell us maybe what's going on now. So I can go in and actually look at the variable that's being affected to perform that diagnosis. And look at that. We were able to get the line back up online. Our pill bottle is moving once again, and we are effectively moving that medicine.
Perfect. Yeah, just to summarize that, I mean, he put it in a perfect way, but just to summarize, our physical actual process right here was able to give us high fidelity data to where we have a lot of information on what's happening, a lot of data points, tags, so on and so forth. And then we're also able to utilize the AI tool that we have in order to look at our engineering specifications, maybe our product specifications, our electrical configurations, and also has access to just industry best practices, maintenance best practices. So we're no longer making educated guesses, we're making precise, correct decisions utilizing AI. Very generic capabilities of AI, much less. So if I could direct your attention over here, I'm actually going to have Brandon help us close this out.
Yeah, so thank you, Shane. So What you just saw here today, right, is AI-enhanced troubleshooting. Now, that's just one small example of the Siemens Smart Manufacturing portfolio. Smart manufacturing is an approach that applies across multiple industries, ranging from aerospace, automotive, chemical, semiconductor, and many, many more, right? Siemens has the domain expertise, the software-defined automation, and not to mention the track record of being able to help you transform into a digital enterprise utilizing our Siemens Accelerator portfolio. And so just a couple things to think about as we leave here today, right? Think about how your life personally has been impacted by some of the solutions that Siemens offers in our smart manufacturing portfolio. From the car you drove in here today, how it was designed, how it was manufactured, maybe the airplane you flew to Vegas on, all of that has been impacted by Siemens Smart Manufacturing in one way or another. So think about your biggest pain points. If you come from an industry background, bring that to our experts so that we can talk about how we can tailor our solutions to your specific needs and how we can transform the everyday for everyone. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for joining us on our eXplore tour here today.
Yeah.